4 friends, a campfire in the Pacific Northwest. Then every living thing in that forest fell silent. 12 seconds of absolute nothing. One of them would never come back. The silence was only the first warning. The fire's crackle faded out so completely that even the wind seemed to hold its breath. 12 seconds stretched, empty of every sound. No insects, no branches shifting, not even the distant river. Maya's headphones, always tuned to the faintest rustle, picked up nothing but static. Ethan, holding the camera, swept his lens across the trees. Each face around the fire turned, waiting for a reason. A coyote's howl, a gust, any sign that the world was still moving. The silence pressed in so hard it felt physical, as if the forest itself had vanished behind a pane of glass. Then, without warning, a blue-white orb appeared above the clearing. It hovered about 10 meters off the ground, casting a cold, colorless glow that flattened the shadows and erased the warmth from the fire. For a moment, the group just stared. The orb was perfectly still, its outline sharp against the treetops, with no visible source or structure, just a disk of light, silent and unblinking. The air felt charged, like the seconds before a thunderstorm, but heavier, as if the pressure in their ears was building from the inside out. No one spoke. Even the camera's microphone, usually alive with background noise, captured only the faint hum of the electronics and the brittle snap of someone's breath. The rules of the forest had been broken. Every instinct told them to run, but no one moved. The orb remained, hovering above them, indifferent and impossible. A sharp, invisible force swept through the clearing. Jonas's phone, still in his hand, jumped from 80% battery to 20% in less than a minute. The screen flickered, then froze. UI icons smeared across the glass, camera app stuttering, unable to record or send a signal. Sophia's LED lantern, steady only seconds before, began to pulse in a harsh mechanical rhythm, 8 flashes per second. A cold strobe that carved the trees into fragments. Ethan's compass, clipped to his backpack, spun uncontrollably, the needle looping a full circle every 3 seconds. He tried to steady it, but the markings blurred, direction lost. A low-frequency hum pressed against their skulls, just below the threshold of hearing, vibrating inside their chests. The pitch hovered near 19 hertz, deep enough to rattle breath and unsettle balance. Maya clutched her headphones, searching for any trace of music, but only static, and the relentless drone remained. Each device failed in its own way, as if the air itself had turned hostile. No GPS, no signal, no reliable light. The group's voices broke into shouts, panic rising as their last connections to the outside world collapsed. The orb above remained unchanged, its cold light indifferent to the chaos below. In the darkness, only the frantic blink of Sophia's lantern and the spinning compass needle offered proof that something unseen was tearing through the fabric of the night. Ethan's hand steadied the camera, breath shallow, as the orb's glow shifted, no longer just a disk of light, but the underside of a structure, matte and seamless, blocking out the stars above. The surface was marked with rivets or seams, dull against the blue-white glare, each detail sharp and impossibly smooth. A faint band circled the center, darker than the rest, as if the craft's skin absorbed the light rather than reflected it. The group barely whispered, but Ethan's voice, low and trembling, counted off the distance between 2 trees at the edge of the clearing, then tried to estimate the span. 35 meters, maybe more. his words barely audible above the static in the mic. The craft hovered 10 meters above the ground, its presence heavy, pressing down on the clearing like a lid. No wind, no sound, but the hum. The matted surface seemed to drink in the lantern's strobe, erasing every familiar shape. For a long moment, the only movement was the slow pan upward, every second stretching out as the impossible size became clear. Awe and dread tangled together, the certainty that this was not a trick of the light, not a drone or a balloon, but a physical thing, immense and silent, hanging just above the treetops. A blue-white beam cut straight down from the craft, slicing through smoke without a flicker. The campfire bent sharply toward the light, flames and sparks twisting out of sight. Ethan stood at the edge, frozen mid-breath, his body locked in place. Maya's scream warped, stretched thin by the strange air. Sophia reached for him, but her hand stopped, unable to cross the invisible barrier. The camera caught Ethan's boots lifting from the ground. First a tremor, then a slow, steady rise. He hovered, wrapped in the blue shaft, as static crackled through the clearing. Jonas's grip slipped. The frame spun, catching Ethan suspended 2 meters up before crashing to earth. White light swallowed everything. The last sound, Sophia's scream, shattered by digital noise, Maya's voice breaking. The footage froze on Ethan, weightless, eyes fixed above. Then the file corrupted. Across the black screen, a single line. Event, timecode 00:03:47. Subject lifted by 0.2 G. Camera failure. No further data. Tonight, unexplained disappearances in these forests remain unsolved. Each new anomaly adds weight to the unknown. The silence isn't over. It's just waiting for the next witness. Share your theory below.